Hello, good day. It's Fallon, aka Amore, the poet, pound 24. How is everybody doing today? How was everybody's week? I'm back to let you know that I love you and I'm fighting this battle with you. I just wanted to clear things up about my last video. I do share my YouTube videos to Facebook, and I guess I was hacked, or my Facebook account was hacked, and I got some crazy messages. I'm not a hacker. I don't know how to send viruses. I probably have a better chance sending you coronavirus than I do a computer virus. So I won't be posting my videos to Facebook any longer. You will have to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to continue to see my videos. I'm sorry, but sometimes, one person does ruin it for everybody. And I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression that I'm out here trying to hurt people when I'm actually out here trying to help people. So I just wanted to clear that up. So, anyways, anywho, today we are going to talk about grandmothers. Yesterday, 2/26, was my grandmother's 5-year anniversary into the spiritual world. So I was drawn to talk about grandmothers today, or my grandmother. I know everybody thinks that their grandmother is the best grandmother in the world, but I really think I had the best grandmother. She actually gave up her life to raise seven crack babies. Who does that? I don't know anybody yet, or I haven't met anybody yet that took care of that many drug addicted babies, adopted and raised them, gave them her last name. She did so much for us. It was just unbelievable. My grandmother, she really kept us busy when we were kids. We were into ballet, skiing, we played the keyboard, we did sewing lessons, we went to church, camp, trips. I mean, you name it, we did it. We did most in our childhood than most people do in a lifetime. Um, my grandmother, like a lot of the ways that I am today are because of her. I remember when I was a kid, just like the television shows, watching untold stories of the ER. Now I'm an ER nurse. I used to watch cops and things like that. I did attempt to be a cop, but that lifestyle wasn't going to be fit for me because talking to some people, I just don't think that I would have really made it in the world. I would have probably ended up dead or traumatized, even worse than I am now. So, but I did, attempt, and I tried to go through with the process. It just wasn't the avenue that was for me. Um, I also used to watch things like Law and Order, Criminal Intent, different things like that. But I'm not a good liar at all. So being a lawyer or, the justice system was not going to be a good fit for me. So my grandmother was born on January 3rd in 1947. She had two children, my mom and my uncle, and that was it. And then she raised seven grandkids. She was just a phenomenal woman. I remember her doing things for people. I didn't understand why she did them, like letting homeless people come over, take showers. She would give them a change of clothes. She would feed them. She used to take us to the home, like the soup kitchen. So she would take us to the soup kitchen, and she used to tell us, I don't ever want you to think that you're better than anybody and you can't sit down and have a meal with a homeless person. But the one funny thing about that, she never came in there with us, but she embedded that in us. And then she would, tell us, don't forget to get the loaves of bread on the way out. I'm like, you got to come get your own bread, Nana. We can't get extra bread. But she did things like that. We never went like shopping at regular stores. This is probably why we got to do so much other things. But we used to go to Salvation Army to shop. Not in the store, but late at night behind the store, we will go empty out the dumpsters where people would put the clothes. And it was like Christmas almost like once a week for us. So we would go home, look at what we want, and then we would put the bags back. But we didn't need or want for anything. We had a swimming pool. We always had our own room. We had every game system, Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Atari, whatever game, you name it. We had it. So our grandma did like a really good job raising us. She tried her best. I don't know if I could have did a better job or anybody could have did a better job, but she did try her best. Things that made my grandmother happy were, her grandkids were always number one. And then she loved to play bingo. She played bingo 7 nights a week. She found a bingo hall. I don't care. And I don't care if she left. It started at 7 o'clock and she would leave at 6:57 and she would get there. And my grandmother played like a whole table. Like I don't even know how she kept up. They was calling B6 and then they would say N32 and she just kept it going. And we would sit underneath the table. This is when they could smoke in a church. And they was playing bingo, gambling in the church. And my sister and I, we would be sitting underneath the table while they were up there playing. We would be drawing or coloring in our coloring books, wishing we didn't have to be there because we really hated the smoke. It was just so cloudy and foggy, but it made my grandmother happy. My grandmother also embedded in me like OCD and cleanliness. She really had that bad, and I picked that up for her. My grandma cooked for us, but it wasn't really seasoned. My grandma was Caucasian. I don't really get into color. My grandmother didn't raise us to be into color or to describe ourselves as a color. We were always just an American and a child or adolescent. We were never raised to be a color. But the way my grandmother cooked, it was salt, pepper, and garlic powder. We did have good Sunday meal dinners, but now that I cook, I like a little bit of seasoning. But I do appreciate learning that it is important to have home cooked meals and things like that. A lot of things that I grew up eating, though, I do not eat now. I don't know why, but I just do not eat it now. And I'm glad that being raised, my grandma wasn't the type of person that if you don't finish your food, then that's all you're gonna get, or you have to finish your food before you get juice. Or no, she let us pick what we wanted to eat. If we didn't like it, we were allowed to throw it out and we could get something else. We didn't eat leftovers like that. We were really picky children, and our grandmother let us, be who we wanted to be. Um, so I guess my grandmother, someone told her that if she has a child that is a little crazy, cuckoo, she could get more money. And I was the child that, she decided to start sending away, calling the police. But I think she really regret doing that because I, no, no system, no police, no detention center, no psych ward. None of that is going to hold me down. And when I got old enough, I ran away to another town. And I think that really broke my heart. It broke my heart too to have to leave my grandmother. But I needed to go and raise my son, and I had to leave my grandmother. But I know I was like the help. I did a lot to help my grandmother because if anybody knows me, my grandmother was everything to me. We didn't have like a big family. It was just my grandmother, my 6 sisters, and then my mom would pop in and out. And I had a dad, but he left around the time I was 12. Not my biological father, but my grandma's ex-boyfriend. So my grandmother was just everything to me. Anytime I got extra money, I was trying to buy her gifts. I was trying to help her. I wanted to help her pay her bills. I wanted to do whatever I could do to give back to my grandmother what she did to me. I used to read some papers that I would write, and I just always wanted to give my grandmother, abundance, wealth, health, whatever I could, because she gave her life up to raise me. And I just like appreciate her not abandoning me through all my struggles, my trials, my tribulations, my weaknesses, because I was really, a troubled kid. Dealing with a kid that was born to a mother that was addicted to crack, you went through child molestation, rape, physical, emotional abuse, is difficult, and she has 7 of these grandkids, not one, 7. I probably was the worst one, but she dealt with 7, and she never left us. She didn't go anywhere. She raised kids to the death of her. My sister, my youngest sister, I think she was around, I was 34 or 33 when my grandmother passed. So my sister, I believe she was 13. So my grandma was still raising kids when she passed at 69 years old. And I would do anything to have my grandmother back. I mean, you know how it is to have your grandmother, and if you were raised by your grandmother, it's just like your mother. My grandmother, I made her grandmother. I was the first daughter. I was the first granddaughter. I was the first niece. I was the first everything. My grandmother named me my entire name. She even changed all of our last names so that we could have her name. So I just love my grandmother, and I wrote her a poem about a year. I wrote her one when she passed, for her funeral, but I also wrote her one about a year after she passed, and that's the one that I'm going to share with you all. So this poem is for my grandmother, and it's called I Miss You. I miss you. It's been one hell of a year, Nana, without you. Some days I can't even think. I don't know what to do. You left me all of a sudden, and I can't believe it. The loss of you is worse than any puncher hit. I know you're watching over me every day. Now it's just memories in my mind with the words you used to say. Fallon, I'm proud of you and what you have become. But Nana, I miss you, and my body's so numb. All I want to do is call, and you pick up the phone. You're so far away, and it makes me feel all alone. The greatest thing that happened in my life was you. I can't imagine what it was like when they called Code Blue. Come back, Nana, so I can have one more hug. Sit in your nest with your cigarette and coffee mug. Get in your car and drive down the road to Bingo. Without you, Nana, I'm crying. I just want you to know. I would turn the hands of time back for one more moment. On February 26, 2016 at 8:48, my mind went frozen. Maybe it wouldn't hurt so bad if you weren't such a good person, but you were the best mother and Nana a child could have, and that's for certain. Life wasn't always perfect, but you were perfect. You rescued me from the foster home and child neglect. All my life, you showered me with love and care. It wasn't your time, Nana, and this just isn't fair. If I could give you my air to breathe, I would. You gave up your life in order for me to have a childhood? You're the best, Nana, and I miss you so much. The days don't get easier, and I want another touch. I think about all the times we had together. I was praying for your health, but it didn't get better. God called you home and said it was time to go. He doesn't make mistakes, but he just doesn't know the pain and sorrow that's living in my heart now. Until death do us part was not our vow. But this is how it is, and this is how it has to be. Bring me home one day so my Nana I can see. I'm glad you're not down here suffering anymore. I'm going to do my best on earth so our bond can be restored. I miss you, baby girl, and I will see you soon. I love you to the stars, to the sun, and back around to the moon. Nana, thank you for my life and all that you gave me. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have grown into the person I was supposed to be. Just remember, Nana, it never gets easier without you. Now that you're gone, I need your spirit to carry me through. I was going to stop writing, but the pain is endless. It still feels like it happened yesterday, I must confess. You never cried until your last days here. Leaving us was one of your biggest fears. You gave me the dream that I could do anything and be anybody. Without your presence, my mind is crazy and my thoughts are cloudy. I never understood the meaning of miss until I lost you. Some people have a big family, but you, Nana, were my whole crew. You saw things in me when I was younger, never missed a meal, and made sure I didn't deal with hunger. You left me too soon, but to God it was right on time. Somebody needs to be arrested for this horrendous crime. Nana, you were everything, and it's hard to deal with this. On March 3rd, 2016, that was our last kiss. I saw you laying in the coffin, but I didn't feel you there. Wishing it was my imagination and my mind would be free of despair. I look up into the sky, wishing I could see your face pop out. The morning of your death, I lost my voice because all I did was shout. Trying to let you hear me and the pain I was going through. I hate that you left me, but appreciate all you did, and I want to say thank you. The sunshine in my day and the moonlight in my night. One day at a time, but being without you is such a big fight. You can have my body, you can have my lungs, and you can have my heart. Whatever it takes to bring you back and give you a fresh start. Holidays are different without the sound of your voice. I know you would still be here if you had a choice. I can't wait to see you again and tell you how much I love you. As I live life and grow, I often think, what would Nana do? You kept me going while you were present on earth. Nana, no one will ever amount to how much you were worth. I can't express how dear you are to my heart and soul. You are the reason I never ended up getting on parole. Nana, thank you for everything you did for my well-being. I'm accomplishing goals because you kept my mind dreaming. Continue to watch over me while you fly high above. No feeling can ever amount to your perfect love. I miss you, Nana, and will see you again one day. Just make sure you're there to meet me at heaven's doorway. I love you, my guardian angel, and my reason to always do my best. Until we meet again, Nana, just rest and be blessed. Amore the Poet, pound 24. So I just want you to know, keep in mind of your loved ones. Remember them, appreciate them while they are here, love them. Always check on your grandmother, give her a hug, give her a kiss. If she's a good one, if she's not, pray for her, manifest for her, whatever you believe in, you do it for her. Sometimes we just need to hear that we love somebody, or we are loved, or we're appreciated, or somebody cares about us. So, and especially like older people, we tend to forget about them. They're getting older, they're on their way out, some faster than others. Some feel that they're leaving, just like my grandmother. When it was getting closer to her time, she knew that she would never see me again. The last time that I went to visit her in New York, she told my sister that was it. I knew that it was it, just the way my grandmother was looking when my sisters would call me and tell me so. Every single day from the time I left my grandmother for 14 years that I was living out here, I called her every day just to tell her thank you, just to tell her that I love her, just to tell her she did a great job. Don't ever feel bad for any of the mistakes or anything that ever happened to us, because just for leaving me, you were the best, and I appreciate that so much. I really have a problem with abandonment, and my grandma, she never left me until she had to leave, and I like, I cannot thank her enough for that. You know, that's why it hurts so bad to lose her, because I knew there will never ever be another person like my grandmother that would, no matter what, she would never leave me. She would always be there. She never left for her man. She never left for, you know, her addictions. She never left. And I just really, really appreciate that. And I just want to remind you, you know, let your grandma know that you love her. Let your mother know. Let somebody know that you love them. Okay? And you keep fighting this battle. And I will see you next week. I love you. Amore the Poet, pound 24.